Hello everyone, I am Professor S.R. Patil, Department of Information Science and Engineering, BLDACET, Vijaypura. So I would like to welcome you all for this data analytics lecture. So in this lecture, I am going to teach you cluster analysis in data analytics concept. So here we are going to have brief idea about cluster analysis. First we'll see what are the agenda. So in this, cluster analysis and its applications, then clustering techniques and example, then K-mean algorithm with an example, then what are the strengths and weaknesses of the K-mean algorithm. So these are the topics which I'm going to cover in this lecture. So we'll see one by one. Move on to the introduction. So we'll see the definition of the clustering first. What is clustering? Clustering is a technique used for automatic identification of natural groupings of the things. So what is this word? Natural groupings. There are like similar and dissimilar or a different group of clustering will be there. So this natural grouping of thing that is done by automatically. So automatic identification of natural grouping of things is called it as a clustering. So in this technique, data instances that are similar to each other are categorized into one cluster. So the data items which look similar, that is formed as a one cluster. Okay. So similarly, the data instances that are very different from each other are moved into different clusters. So understood this, what is similar cluster and what is different clusters. Okay. So here, unsupervised learning technique. So clustering, it is an unsupervised learning technique as there is no output or dependent variable for which a right or wrong answer can be computed. So clustering is a technique can also be suggest to the user how many clusters would make sense from characteristics of the data. So clustering can also be called it as a segmentation. So why the segmentation? Because the similar kind of data items can be segmented into one group and dissimilar or a different data items can be segmented into other cluster. Okay, so that is why the clustering can also be called it as a segmentation. Understood this? So this is a brief introduction about clustering. Then coming to the applications of cluster analysis. So used in large variety of transactions. So transaction means what? It is related to the marketing, it is related to the academic. Okay. So here we can see which provide the characterization, definition, and labels for a population. So these are the some of the area where we are going to use of the clustering. Then identify natural grouping of customers, products, patients. Okay, so customers, that is in CRM, then products like most of the business applications, then patients, that is in medical application. Okay, so many are there. To decrease the size and complexity of the problems. So when you use the clustering concept, so which decreases the size and complexity of the problem. So cluster analysis is used in almost every field where the large variety of transactions. The large variety of transaction, I have covered all these transactions where we are going to make use of the clustering, clustering concept. Okay, so it can also help to identify outliers in the specific domain and thus decreases the size and complexity of the problem. So here are some of the examples of the clustering where we can make use of the clustering. The first one is market segmentation. So what do you mean by this market segmentation? Categorizing customers according to their similarities, for instance, by their common wants and needs. So that is how the clustering concept will help in the market segmentation. Then second one is product portfolio. So here people of similar sizes can be grouped together to make small, medium and large size of the clothing item. Okay, so that is how the product portfolio works with the help of clustering analysis. Then third one is text mining. Clustering can help organize a given collection of text documents according to their content similarities into clusters of related topics. So that is how the clustering analysis which helps in the text mining. Next, we can see the operational definition. So we have seen the definition of the clustering. Then coming to the operational definition. So operational definition, that is a given a representation of n objects. Okay, pay attention. Representation of n objects. Find k groups based on a measure of similarity such that objects within the same group are alike, but the objects in different groups are not alike. Understood? So here similar and different, dissimilar or different clustering like group we have seen in the previous topic. So here operational definition also which talks about the measure of similarity such as the object within the same group are alike, but the objects in different groups are not alike. Okay, so how clusters are differs. The clusters can be differ in terms of their shape, size, and density. So that is how we can differ the cluster. So coming to the ideal cluster. An ideal cluster can be defined as a set of points that is compact and isolated. So in reality, a cluster is a subjective entity whose significance and interpretation requires domain knowledge. So in ideal clusters, okay, so the one should have the significance and interpretation that requires domain knowledge about that particular case. So that is how we can define the ideal cluster. So here, how we can representing the cluster. So far we have gone through what is cluster, how we can define the cluster. Okay, so how we can differ the cluster. So next we can see representation of the cluster. So here there are two main terms, centroid and the model value. So centroid means what? The clusters can be represented by a central or a model value. Okay, so a cluster can be defined as a centroid of the collection of points belong to it. A centroid means a centroid is a measure of a central tendency. So here like city center will be there. Okay, each city will be having the city center. It means that it will be centered to that particular city. Are you getting? So centroid means this is a point which is centroid to the all the data points. Understood? Okay. So again modal value. So here modal value means a cluster can also be represented by the most frequently occurring value in the cluster. So cluster can be defined by its modal value. Understood this? Modal value means it's very simple. That is the value most frequently occurring value, that is called it as a modal value. So this is how the representing the cluster. So once we see the example, then you will get to know how centroid works. Okay, so clusters of arbitrary shapes. Okay, this is the shape of the cluster. Hyperelliptical and hyperspherical clusters are usually easy to represent using their centroid together with the spreads. So this is a like with respect to hyperspherical clusters. So like irregular shaped clusters are hard to represent. They may not be useful in some application. So what we look for? We look for the like the clusters are regular shape. So irregular shape clusters are hard to represent. So using centroids are not suitable in general. The upper figure, okay, using centroid which is not suitable. But in K-mean cluster may be more useful. That K-mean algorithm, how K-mean algorithm works, what are the steps in K-mean algorithm, that we can see in the next topic. Okay, clustering techniques. So we'll move to the clustering technique. Cluster analysis is a machine learning technique. So machine learning, again, there is one more domain. So a cluster analysis is a machine learning technique. The quality of a clustering results that depends on the algorithm, the distance function, and the application. Understood? The quality of clustering depends on what? It depends on the algorithm which you are going to use, and distance function, and the application. So first consider the distance function. So what do you mean by distance function? most cluster analysis method use distance measure to calculate the closeness between the pair of item. To check the pair of item, we are going to make use of what? Distance function. Again, in this, there are two major measures of the distance function. The one is Euclidean distance function, then another one is Manhattan distance function. So here, Euclidean distance function, as the crow flies as a straight line, is the most intuitive measure. The other popular measure, that is Manhattan distance. Okay, in the Manhattan, one can go only in an orthogonal distance or a direction. So with respect to Manhattan, one can go with the only orthogonal direction. So these two are the distance function which we are used in the clustering technique. The most popular clustering algorithm is the K-mean algorithm. Okay, so you can expect a question on this K-mean algorithm, so which is very important topic. The most popular clustering algorithm is the K-mean algorithm. It is a top-down statistical technique based on the method of minimizing the least square distance from the center point of the cluster. So how it minimizes the distance, that we can see with the help of example. So before we see the example, we'll see some pseudocode for the clustering. Okay, so generic steps. Okay, so what is the first step? Pick an arbitrary number of groups or a segment to be created. First, we are supposed to pick a group or a segment. Then second, start with the randomly chosen centered value for the group. Okay, randomly we are going to choose the center value for that particular group which we have picked. Okay, then third, classify instances to closest groups. So for that particular center value, which data points are closer to this group? Okay, that is closest group. Compute new value for the group center. After randomly we are choosing, we are going to find the new value. So after finding the new value, we are going to repeat the step 3 and 4 till group converge. Okay, we should have some like group of the cluster. So till we get the converge of the group, we are going to repeat the step 3 and step 4. Finally, if clusters are not satisfactory, go to the step 1 and pick a different number of segments. Initially what we have done, we have like picked the group or a segments. So after picking the group or segment, we have assigned the center value, closes the group, again finding the new value. Okay, if that is not a case, then if the result is not satisfactory, the group which I have got which is converging is not satisfactory, then we need to go to the step 1 and pick again different number of segments. Okay, so we'll see an example. Okay, so just look at this example. This is a clustering example which have the 10 data points. Okay, so here consider 2,6 is there, x value is 2 and y value is 6. Okay, if you take this, x value is 4, y value is 7. Okay, are you getting? Okay, so here the objective is to determine the number of clusters and the center point of those clusters. You know what is the objective of this problem? Okay, a scatter plot of 10 items in 2 dimensions shown them distributed fairly randomly. How many items are there? 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Total how many? 10 items are there. Okay, the points are distributed randomly. Okay, it is not in a like one order. These are distributed in a randomly enough such that it is considered as a one cluster. Initially we consider this as a one cluster. Okay, the solid circle represents the central point, or we can call it the centroid of these points. Just look at this. This is a solid point, you can able to see, right? So this is what we call it as a central point, or we can call it as a centroid. How many centroid are there? Okay, we have assigned one central value. Okay, so that is a centroid. So there is a big distance between the points 2,6 and 8,3. This is 2,6 and this is 8,3. But there is only one centroid is there. But the distance between these two data points is very far. Okay, so the data can be broken into two clusters. So how we can break into two clusters? Okay, just look at this figure. So here this is the initial one, this is another one. because here the data points, the 2.6 and 8.3 are very far. So we have two more like centroid. This is one centroid, this is another centroid. Are you getting? The 3 points at the bottom right can form one cluster. So how many data points are there? 1, 2, 3. Okay, remaining how many? 7. Okay, so the remaining 7 form the other cluster. Have you understood? Okay, move on to next. The bigger cluster seems to far apart. So when you compare these two, okay, this and this, so which one is bigger? This one is bigger. Okay, the bigger cluster seems to too far apart. So it seems like the 4 points on the top form separate cluster. The 3 clusters look like as follows. How the 3 cluster looks like? So this is how the 3 cluster looks like. Understood this? Okay, so now we have K-mean algorithm for the clustering. Okay, these are the 3 clusters. So before we go to the K-mean algorithm, we'll see how this K-mean algorithm works. Okay, so K-mean algorithm, that is partition the given data into K cluster. So just the algorithm name is K-mean. Okay, first what we're going to do, choose K data points as the initial centroid cluster centers. Okay, so there will be 10 data points were there in the previous case. Okay, we are going to choose the data points. Okay, next repeat, for each data point X belongs to the D. What do you mean by belongs to D? Means this each data point that belongs to what? This particular K-mean algorithm. Compute the distance from X to each centroid. So here we have that in the previous case we have the 10 data points. We're going to compute the distance from X to each centroid. From each data point to the centroid, we are going to measure the distance. So when you measure the distance, we can see that in the previous case 2, 6 and 8, 3 were so far. Okay, assign X to the closest centroid. So after that we are going to assign the data point to the closest centroid. Okay, and for recompute the centroid using the current cluster membership. So we are going to recompute that, we can see here now, until the stopping criteria is met. So this is how the K-mean algorithm works. So now we can see the previous example. Select the orbit centered. Okay, how many center value you have taken? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 3 centered value you have taken. So K-mean is the most popular clustering algorithm. It iteratively computes the clusters and their centroids. It is top-down approach to the clustering. So in the step 1, consider this is a step 1. Okay. So for a data point, so how many data points are there? 10 data points. Okay. The distance value will be from each of the 3 centroid. So how many centered value? 1, 2, 3. 3 centered are there? Okay. The data point will be assigned to the cluster with the shortest distance to the centroid. So this data point, if it is near to this centroid, will assign to this. Suppose if this data point is near to this, will assign to this. Are you getting? Okay. We'll see how we can assign. So these arrows shows from each data element shows the centroid that the point is assigned to. Okay. So these 3 points are near to this centroid, we are assigning to this. So the remaining these data points are near to this centroid, we are assigning to this. So these 2 are near to this, we are assigning to this. Are you getting? So this is the step 1. So in step 2, what happens? The centroid for each cluster will now be recalculated. Okay, in the K-mean algorithm, we are supposed to recalculate it such that it is closest to all the data points allocated to the cluster. The dashed lines are there, right? Okay, these dashed lines. So these arrows shows the centroid being moved from their old values to the revised new values. So this is the old position. This is the old position. Okay. Now what we are supposed to do? The centroid for each cluster will now be recalculated such that it is closest to the all the data points. So in a such a way that we have to bring this centroid to the data point, near to the data points. Understood this? Okay. Now after recalculating, finally what we are supposed to do? Okay. Once again, the data points are assigned to the 3 centroid closest to it. So finally, we are going to assign these data points to these centroid points. Understood this? So this is how the assigning the points to the new centroid is going to take place. Okay. After that, what we are supposed to do? Finally, the recomputing centroid for each cluster till cluster stabilizes. So how many clusters we have got? 3 clusters. So using K-mean algorithm, we have done this clustering. Okay, understood this example? Okay, move on to the next. What are the strength and weaknesses of the K-means algorithm? So the strength, or we can say that advantages. So K-mean algorithm, it is simple, easy to understand and to implement. Okay, and it is efficient. K-mean is considered a linear algorithm. Okay, remember this. K-mean is considered as what? Linear algorithm. No other clustering algorithm performs better than K-mean algorithm. So these are the strength of the K-mean algorithm. Then coming to the weaknesses. So what are the weaknesses of K-mean algorithm? The user needs to specify an initial value of K. The initial value of K means how many clusters, like user supposed to mention. Okay, so after that it will proceed. The process of finding the cluster may not converge. So that is the second. The process of finding the cluster may not converge. Then third one is it is not suitable for discovering cluster shapes that are not hyperellipsoid. Okay, so it is not suitable for discovering clusters that are not hyperellipsoid or hyperspheres. Hypersphere means what? Okay, it is not in a proper shape. Okay, so if that is the case, we cannot able to apply the K-mean algorithm. So these are some of the disadvantages, or we can say weaknesses of the K-mean algorithm. Hope you can understand what is strength and weaknesses of K-mean algorithm. Okay, we are what our thoughts have made us. So take care of about what you think. Words are secondary, thoughts live they travel for, which is said by Swami Vivekananda. With this quote, I would like to conclude this lecture. So I request viewer, those who are not subscribed the channel, please subscribe the channel, and if you like this video, press the like button. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you.